Hey, very good afternoon and welcome to the South Coast down here in Sussex in the late summer sun as we welcome this first weekend of the league season. And it's Brighton versus Aston Villa who lock horns this afternoon. One of 3 games in the Premier League. We've already seen 6 games spread out between Friday and Saturday. Another 3 today. And then it all ends off tomorrow night, that first weekend, with Fulham versus Chelsea, that West London derby. But for today, it's the later game, Newcastle United against Liverpool. Manchester City versus Bournemouth. That one goes alongside this one with a 2 p.m. kickoff. And it's Brighton versus Aston Villa here. Lots of changes for both sides as far as ins and outs, the personnel for both sides. And that's certainly on show this afternoon. Well, for Brighton, Europe, of course, for them, qualification. Really, really positive season for them last season. And Villa, what a season they had, of course. Winning in Europe and, of course, qualifying for the Champions League as well, ultimately finishing in 4th place. So the team news is in. First of all, Brighton, Carlos Baleba. Well, he's not in the squad following rumours of a big money move to Old Trafford. It seems like he could well be on his way to Michael Carrick's men before the transfer window shuts. A lot of business to be done, I think, from the majority of the sides, I think, in the top flight. Mintep, he's also admitted from the matchday squad. Interest from Liverpool for him. The winger could also be out the door before the end of the month. New signing Luka Vuskovic comes straight into the starting 11 with fellow newbies Pascal Struijk and Zadok Johan on the bench. There's no Matthew O'Reilly due to illness, and Stefanos Simas, the Greek, is ruled out with a knee injury. For Villa, then, well, they've seen some big names depart over this transfer window, haven't they? It's been a very, very busy summer in Birmingham. Morgan Rogers, Ezri Konsa, Donya Marlon and Yuri Tillemans, they've all departed over the summer, with goalkeeper Emi Martinez set to follow them out the door. They purchased, though, with Johan Manzambi and João Gomez being the pick of the bunch. João Gomez starts, came in from Wolverhampton Wanderers. Mateo Ruggieri also starts. Goalkeeper Suzuki and Chelsea Loney Alejandro Garnacho there on the bench. No place for Ollie Watkins as well in the matchday squad, with rumours he's about to leave for Saudi Arabia. So here are the 4 lineups for you. First of all, we'll have a look at our home team, Brighton and Hove Albion. And, well, the formation-wise for Brighton, it's looking like a unconventional sort of 4-3-3 possibly. We'll sort of pick that up as the game goes on, but I can give you the lineups anyway. So Bart Verbruggen, who turned 24 this week, he is in goal. So the back 4 is from left to right is Dunk, Boskagli, Vuskovic and Wiefer. And then I think holding in midfield Ayari and Pascal Gross, who's enjoying his second spell, of course, at Brighton after going off to the German league to play for Borussia Dortmund. We've got De Kuipers and Gomez as the wingers and Hinshelwood off of Rutter. For Villa, then, a very much changed Aston Villa lineup, this one. Bizzo in goal, the Dutch goalkeeper. Back 4 from left to right. Maatsen, Lindelof, Torres and Cash. Holding in midfield Kamara and Barkley. And then number 53, interesting one for you, George Hemmings, only 19 years of age. He's come through the youth system at Villa Park, and he gets his 3rd senior cap today. João Gomez, as I mentioned, John McGinn captain, and Buendia leading the line. On the benches, first of all, for Brighton, Costinia, David, Kostulas, Osman, Osman Steele strike, Svoboda, Yaukwe, and Yohana, who is the Nigerian. And for Villa, Allison, Bogard, Burrows, Garnacho, Lynch, Mings, Rowe, Ruggieri and Suzuki. There is a lot of youth on that Aston Villa bench this afternoon. Burrows just 18. Allison, the Brazilian, not that one, not the goalkeeper. He's only 20. And Luca Lynch is 19, as is Tristan Rowe. Aston Villa are in a change trip this afternoon. And Brighton will be playing in their usual home strip, the Seagulls. But it's a change trip for Villa. It's a black or just very, very dark blue, possibly off black shirt with yellow, bright yellow trim. And for Brighton, of course, it's the blue shirts with the white as well. As we watch Unai Emery take his place on the bench. Lots to ponder for him between now and the end of the transfer window. Expect incomings and outgoings as I said, for a majority of the Premier League teams. Our referee, that is Peter Banks from Lancashire. Game gets underway, and it's Villa in this chain strip, this dark shirt with the white shorts, white socks, playing from right to left in this first half, attacking the north stand towards our right hand side. Brighton are all in blue this afternoon as the ball, early doors goes out of play over the far side, and it'll be an early throw-in for Aston Villa, which will be taken by Matty Cash, who's sporting a buzz cut. Fresh trim for him. The Polish international goes long towards McGinn. McGinn takes that down beautifully, pokes it out towards this near side, and rushing onto it is Kamaru. Takes it out towards this near side. Maatsen goes back in field towards Hemmings. It's back inside the Villa half now with Lindelof. Lindelof out to Cash again. Cash is forced back over on the far side by De Kuipers. Goes all the way back to his goalkeeper in the end. All in grey this afternoon. Mario Bizzo, the Dutchman. Low ball out towards this near side. Maatsen now. Maatsen, low ball towards halfway. A little flick on towards this near side. It's a good one, actually. And continuous run down this near side is Maatsen, striding towards the left-hand side of the penalty. A low ball into the box. It's a good one, and it had to be dealt with. And dealt with it was because it was put behind for a corner. An early one inside the second minute here for Aston Villa. Really well worked down the left-hand side. Lovely link-up play between Kamara and Maatsen. Maatsen with a low ball into the box. Only McGinn to aim for, and never reached McGinn. And the reason it didn't reach McGinn is because Buscaglia put the ball over the top, and it's an early corner for Aston Villa, but a bright start for Unai Emery's men. Remember, you are listening to unofficial off-tube commentary of Brighton and Hove Albion versus Aston Villa here in the English top flight. Corner from this near side, then it'll be a right-footed in-swinger. McGinn draws it low towards the near post. It's clear towards the edge of the penalty area. Villa will have it again, and they'll work it out to Maatsen, left-hand corner of the penalty area. Goes out all the way towards this near side. Ross Barkley, 32 now, Barkley. Doesn't seem that long ago he was a young prospect coming through. McGinn does really well to win the ball back for Villa as they look to have lost it midway inside the Brighton half. They've recycled all the way back towards the halfway line, inside the centre circle now with Victor Lindelof, who's just backpedaling slightly, the ex-Manchester United man, and he goes square to his left-hand side, and here is Maatsen, another of the many Dutchmen on show this afternoon for both sides, in fact. McGinn flicks it on towards the far side, wants a free kick. It's going to be a free kick to Villa, just outside the centre circle. So just to confirm, this afternoon in the Premier League, Manchester City play Bournemouth. That one kicks off the same time as this one, although I am hearing there might have been a little bit of a delay possibly to the start for that one. Just running a few minutes behind this one, hasn't quite kicked off yet, at 3 minutes past the hour. And then it's Newcastle versus Liverpool, 4:30, and it all comes to an end. The first weekend in the English top flight with the West London derby between tomorrow evening between Fulham and Chelsea. Anything happens in Manchester, we'll let you know. Ball is loose midway inside the park, and it's Villa have come away with it. Villa have started the better, actually, and it's good work over the halfway line by Ross Barkley. Barkley then gives it to McGinn. McGinn goes down. He's in Brighton sandwich there in between Iyari and Buscaglia, I think it was. He's got himself a free kick. Good work from the Scotsman as well. Influential in that Scottish team that qualified, of course, for the World Cup. It was a miserable World Cup for the Scots in the end, really. Going home at the first time of asking once more. Free kick then for Villa, midway inside the Brighton half, just about 10-15 yards infield from the far touchline. The Aston Villa right, so it'll be the left boot of John McGinn to deliver this one. Clips it in now. Not bad delivery, headed clear towards the edge of the penalty area, and that one's always rising from Emi Buendia. Couldn't get underneath it, that one got right under it. The Argentinian sails into the north, down towards our left-hand side. It's behind it. It's an early goal kick for Brighton and Hove Albion. We've played 4 minutes here on the South Coast. Brighton 0, Aston Villa 0. All 6 games so far this weekend have all been won. There've not been one draw. Which does also mean we've had goals. Oh, Brighton have given it away, edge of the penalty area. And Buendia could not take advantage. Really sloppy from Brighton, playing out from the back, losing possession. And the Argentinian picked it up. And to be fair, I think he could have taken another couple of touches. It was Iyari, by the way, with egg on his face, giving it away, left-hand corner of the penalty area. Buendia's onto it. I think he could have taken another couple of touches, and he just, first time, hits it from just inside the penalty area, tries to slot it low towards the goalkeeper's right-hand side, a couple of yards wide of the post. Verbruggen, all in pink this afternoon, out towards the far side, gets the ball back, then the Dutch goalkeeper, inside his own 6-yard area out to Vuskovic. So Vuskovic, 54 million euros from Spurs, a real talent or expected talent. As Brighton almost give the ball away again on the edge of their penalty area. They get lucky on this occasion. Ross Barkley can't quite win it for the Villa. Here come Brighton now. First attack for them, drilled forward. That's going to have far too much on it, surely. Indeed it will. And in the end, Diego Gomez gave chase, but it was never going to get on the end of that pass. And it's gone through for a goal kick to Aston Villa. It was Dunk with the pass initially. He just sold Iari a little bit short, but Iari's first touch was poor anyway. That allowed Ross Barkley to nick the ball. His first touch straight to Buendia, and I think Buendia should score. Low left-footed. Keeper is stranded as well. Long ball forward now towards McGinn. Clear towards the halfway line, but Barkley touched it down nicely towards the far side. Here's Matty Cash. Cash back towards the halfway line, and Boubacar Kamara. Kamara wearing the number 8, forward towards the edge of the penalty. Here's Buendia again, stretching inside the penalty area, and lifts his ball. Shot in the end well over the crossbar. I think he was just onside as well. It was looped over top. He brought it down beautifully, actually, the Argentinian. And he could have done better with that shot. Left-footed, always rising. Wide of the target as well. But Aston Villa, their start will certainly be music to the ears, I think, of Unai Emery. They started really poorly last year, if you remember, Villa. Didn't win any of their first 5 games in the league. And to turn that around, they then went on an exceptional run, which almost took them to the summit of the Premier League. Here's the number 44, Vuskovic. So just to confirm, Vuskovic then, he is a Croatian. He's coming for 54 million euros from Spurs. For at the age of just 19, a real talent. And he's taken his place in the starting 11 this afternoon for Brighton and Hove Albion. Over the halfway line it goes. And immediately De Kuipers plays it back inside the Brighton half for Boskagli. Here is Vuskovic. Evades Weaver and comes out towards his near side. Here's João Gomez. Gomez twisting, turning, and plays it off of, well, I say he plays it off of Maatsen. It must have ricocheted back off him because it's gone out for a throw-in down this near side to Villa. On the halfway line, down the Villa left-hand side. Maatsen all the way back towards the left-hand side of his penalty area. Here's Pau Torres. Oh, it's a really poor one. He's given it away into the penalty area. And Brighton have scored. It's an absolute howler from Victor Lindelof, gifting possession to Brighton, and they take full advantage, and they lead by a goal to nil, which has pretty much been their first attack of the game. And it's the number 29, Max De Kuipers, who says thank you very much. An awful error from Victor Lindelof. 8 minutes played here, down on the south coast. Brighton 1, Aston Villa nil, completely against the run of play. Villa have started the brighter. Maatsen takes the throw for Villa, goes all the way back towards the left-hand side of his penalty area. Lindelof with a sloppy pass inside his own penalty area, I think towards the goalkeeper. It might actually go down as an own goal because actually as De Kuipers turns, it hits the post and then ends up in the back of the net off of Lindelof. In fact, it will go down as an own goal because the shot technically wasn't on target. It hit the post. Lindelof rushes back to the goal, of course, to try and make up for his error, and ends up putting the ball into his net. That will go down as an own goal from Victor Lindelof. It's Brighton 1, Aston Villa 0. So ironic as well that Lindelof made the mistake, then rushes back to goal to try and clear the shot from De Kuipers off the line. And to be fair, if De Kuipers' shot was on target, I think the Swede would have cleared it. But it hit the post, ricocheted straight into the chest of Lindelof and ends up in the back of the net. There's an early yellow card here. And it's going to be for a pull by Pascal Gross on, I think it's the Villa number 35. And João Gomez it is. So an early yellow card. And João Gomez, in fact, has been booked, I think, as well as Pascal Gross, for calling for the yellow card. Well, I'll get confirmation. I can definitely confirm. It has been confirmed as an own goal, by the way, by Lindelof. Definitely a yellow card for João Gomez. That was for pleading with the referee to give Pascal Gross a yellow card. And I'm not entirely sure Pascal Gross has actually been booked I'll get confirmation out in a second. We've had the confirmation of the Aston Villa player that's gone in the book. Well, that's borderline yellow card as well. A challenge there from Ayari, and in fact he does go into the book, the Swede, for a strong challenge midway inside the Villa half. It's all got a little bit scrappy here down on the south coast. 10 minutes played, Brighton 1, Villa 0. Own goal from Victor Lindelof, and the foul on the number 8, Boubacar Kamara, who's wearing that number 8, of course, with Yuri Tillemans now at Old Trafford, having made that move to Manchester United. And Ayari indeed does go into the book, and I can confirm Pascal Gross didn't get booked for the foul on João Gomez, because João Gomez did, for complaining that he should have gone into the book. Long ball forward now towards this near side. That's a lovely first touch as well by Hemmings, and he tries to clip it through the youngster. Doesn't quite find its intended recipient, which is Emi Buendia. Brighton clear towards the halfway line, but Villa have it again. Left-hand side of the penalty area with Pau Torres. Goes square to the goal scorer, but at the wrong end. Victor Lindelof finds Cash to his right-hand side, pedalling back towards the edge of his penalty area now. Here's João Gomez, just retreating over towards the far side. Gives it to Cash. Cash one touch, then down the line. There's the great use of the backside from John McGinn, and then turns and goes long down the centre. Villa will chase, but it will be dealt with, and that'll be a free kick. In fact, there's a completely unnecessary foul by Emi Buendia, just pushing into the defender there. Turns as if he doesn't realise, gives that look to the ref as if to suggest, well, what's wrong? But he pushed Pascal Gross in the back there as the German was backtracking. Well, I can confirm now, to take back everything I've said, because Pascal Gross indeed was booked. And so just to clear that up, João Gomez for Aston Villa came in, of course, for €40 million, the Brazilian from Wolverhampton Wanderers. And Yacine Ayari and Pascal Gross, both for Brighton, have also been booked. So we've had 3 early yellow cards. Peter Banks, by the way, is the referee this afternoon. Boskagli now down the line for Brighton. First time ball towards the halfway line. Little flick on's only going to find Maatsen inside the centre circle. Pokes it forward. Not a particularly good one from him. And Brighton will have it again. Switching play from left to right. Beautifully taken down as well by Diego Gomez. Out towards the right side of the penalty area. Pascal Gross tries to get the cross in. Blocked by Maatsen. It'll fall kindly out towards this near side again for Pascal Gross. Infield he goes to Vuskovic, square to his left-hand side is Lewis Dunk. Everybody bar the Brighton goalkeeper now inside the Villa half. Villa unquestionably started the better. Now found themselves a goal behind and suddenly find themselves up against it here with Brighton suddenly dominating possession. Because here's Weaver, low out to Pascal Gross, midway inside the Villa half. Down the line it goes, Maatsen's there. And Maatsen's won the throw-in as the ball in the end comes off of Gomez. Throw in then for Villa in their left back position. 13 minutes played here down on the south coast. Brighton 1, Aston Villa 0. No goals in the game in Manchester at the moment. Manchester City 0, Bournemouth 0. A little bit scrappy down this near side. Villa have come away with it. Hemmings. And it goes to Kamara. He loses possession, and here come Brighton again. There's a foul there. The referee for a second thought about playing on, but he has called it back for a free kick. I think he could have just let that go for a little bit longer there, Peter Banks, because the ball was clipped forward towards the edge of the Brighton penalty area, and I think it was Hinshelwood who was rushing onto it. Could have been in there. But the free kick is for the foul on Max de Kuiper, I think it is. So free kick for Brighton, midway inside the Villa half. 14 minutes played, Brighton leading 1-0. And much to ponder for Unai Emery on that touchline. Very vocal at the moment, the Spaniard. Certainly not happy. And he won't be happy with the scoreline here. This free kick is about 15 yards infield from the near touchline. The Brighton and Hove Albion right. Pascal Gross is behind it. He's going to deliver it. The Villa defensive line is just outside the 18-yard line. Drills it from right to left towards the left-hand corner of the penalty area, and he's got too much on it there, Pascal Gross. Well, the thumbs go up, or the thumb goes up, I should say, by Diego Gomez, but it was a poor delivery. Just got far too much height on it there, the German. And it is wasteful from Pascal Gross. It's out of play, and it's a throw-in for Aston Villa, level with the edge of their own penalty area, down their right-hand side. All games in the opening weekend have been won by the home team, apart from the game between Nottingham Forest and Leeds, with Leeds snatching a late winner there. Anton Stack with a couple of minutes to play. All the other games thus far have been won by the home side, and it's following a suit at the moment down here on the south coast, because Brighton are leading Villa by 1-0. Another foul there over on the far side. It's a stoppy-starty game. Villa have got a free kick. They're taking it quickly, drilled down the line. Chasing that one is, I think it was Buendia. He's muscled off the ball, and Brighton can bring it clear as they work it from right to left on the edge of their own penalty area. Here's Pascal Gross. Lewis Dunk now, but inside his own half. Forward, that one goes to Ayari, one of the two Brighton players on a yellow card. Gross again, still shy of the halfway line, just in this near side of the pitch, which is the shadowy area of the pitch at the moment, the sort of 2/3 of the pitch. Moving over towards the far side, the east stand bathed in sunshine. That's a lovely ball forward towards the right side of the penalty area for Brighton, but Lindelof wins possession, but in fact eventually the flag does go up for an offside on Jorginho Rutter. So it'll be a free kick. Just looking at a replay of this one, did Rutter go too soon? He certainly did. He's just a yard ahead. He just steps a yard ahead of Lindelof, who, to be fair to him, did get back well to steal the ball off of the Frenchman, but it was all irrelevant anyway, because as soon as he won the ball back, the flag went up. 17 minutes played. Brighton 1, Aston Villa 0. Villa with possession, ball towards the halfway line. Lovely turn by John McGinn. Now this could be interesting. Over the halfway line towards the far side for Villa. João Gomez, edge of the penalty, a shot comes in, always rising, and it's well wide from John McGinn, left-footed, just outside the D. Just open up for him there, John McGinn. That's exactly what he was trying to do. Really good work initially from João Gomez, and then George Hemmings, the youngster, doesn't look overawed at all, the 19-year-old. And then McGinn just sort of danced his way across the edge of the 18-yard line, made the space for himself, left-footed shot, always rising well wide of the goalkeeper's right-hand post. Boskagli goes long for Brighton. Now that's a lovely ball to Rutter. Rutter now, left-hand side of the penalty area. Needs some support, surely down towards the byline. There's the cutback, 2-0. Brilliant work. Brilliant goal for Brighton. They've doubled their lead in the 18th minute. Brilliant work by Jorginho Rutter. The ball over the top, and De Kuipers will definitely claim this one. He could have claimed the first one, but of course it ends up going down as an own goal. That one won't. And Brighton lead Villa by 2-0, and it's a brilliantly worked goal, it really is. And Max De Kuipers, well, what a first 18 minutes he's had. He really has. Just checking for offside here. It's very, very tight. The ball over the top. VAR no doubt will be looking at this one. Oh, it's very tight. The ball over the top. Rutter does so well though. Picks the ball up, drives down towards the byline, cuts the ball back. It's a simple tap in. De Kuipers gets there in between the two defenders. Whether this is going to be pulled back for offside, I don't know. I've had one angle of it. It's very, very tight between Jorginho Rutter and the last defender, but brilliant work from him. Racing down towards that byline, cuts it back for De Kuipers. It's the easiest to finish inside the 6-yard area, gets in between the two defenders and tucks it into the empty net to double Brighton Hove Albion's lead. VAR has confirmed and checked. It was onside. It was very, very tight. I haven't seen another replay of it, by the way. Here's Barkley as the game kicks off again. Brilliant defending. Brighton, I tell you what, they didn't start particularly well. I have to say, the first 10 minutes, it was all Villa. Goals can change games, and that's exactly what's happened here with that goal. That really, really sloppy error from Victor Lindelof, gifting that goal to Brighton. But that's a brilliantly worked goal, that second one. It really is, to double Brighton's lead. Here's Maatsen down this near side. It's so congested in the Brighton right-back position, but Brighton have come away with it. They've lost it again, though, as Villa win possession down this near side. Here's Pau Torres. And the Spaniard, looking towards his right side, finds the aforementioned Lindelof inside the centre circle, drives forward towards the edge of the Brighton penalty area. On it goes to McGinn. McGinn again using his backside to try and back into the player. Didn't work out on this occasion for the Scot. And Brighton have cleared, and we've already seen moments ago how dangerous Fabian Hurst's men can be on the break, as they almost put the ball out of play. sloppily down this near side, but it's a good work actually to rush towards the near side, and that's Weaver just about keeps the ball in play and then goes back to Luka Vuskovic on the edge of his own penalty area. Square to Dunk, and then sweeps it out to Boscagli over on the far side. Back it goes towards the edge of the Brighton penalty area. 20 minutes now played here on the south coast. Brighton 2, Aston Villa 0. And Brighton, well, they've got the wind in their sails now, haven't they, following that second goal. And here they come again over the halfway line with Vuskovic inside the centre circle now with Yasin Ayari. The Swede just holds it up, traps it under his right boot, waits for support, and the support arrives in the form of Pascal Gross, who immediately plays it back inside his own half to Lewis Dunk. Now it's Boscagli. Dunk again to his left-hand side, just outside the penalty area, the centre circle, I should say. And there's going to be a free kick there. The referee again, well, there's complaints this time, and rightly so, I have to say. I think from Dunk inside the centre circle, the referee just could have held up from blowing his whistle for a second there, because they're in a good position again, Brighton. But they will get the free kick now inside the centre circle. The foul by Pau Torres. And here is Vuskovic. Square to Pascal Gross. And to João Gomes. Immediately back to Diego Gomes, I should say. It's confusing. You've got Diego Gomes, of course, for Brighton. João Gomes for Villa. And here come Brighton once more. The ball swept out towards the near side. There's loads and loads of space over on the far side for De Kuipers. Cross comes in, left-footed. There's the header clear towards the edge of the penalty area. Comes back to Dunk. Was he going to have a shot there? He thought about it for a second, Lewis Dunk. Thought better of it. It comes back to Dunk, but I think that ball that he played through to De Kuipers inside the penalty area, indeed, it was offside. Just strayed offside the Belgian. And it'll be a free kick. Just looking now at the technology, the VAR technology for the goal, the second goal for Brighton, to say how tight it was with Jorginho Rutter. The last defender was Matty Cash. It was about half a yard in the end. It's actually not as close as I thought it was going to be. It looked at first glance when I first saw the replay, I thought it was very, very tight. But it was about half a yard. But it was what he did when he picked that ball up. He had so much to do, Jorginho Rutter. Absolutely superb. Drove down towards that byline. And then you've got to finish it off, haven't you? And he found the ball into the penalty area, found De Kuipers, who'd made the run. It was superb. And it's doubled Brighton and Hove Albion's lead here on the south coast. We are midway through the first half. Brighton 2, Aston Villa 0. No goals in the other game that kicked off at 2, by the way, City and Bournemouth. And here comes Rutter again. Rutter down the centre. They just can't get the ball off him. He continues to run. 3-4 Villa players around him. And eventually they managed to get the ball clear. Here's McGinn. McGinn's lost it immediately. That's sloppy from the Scotsman. And here comes Diego Gomes. He's lost possession though, and Villa can bring it clear down this near side with the young George Hemmings. Hemmings in between two Brighton players. He's lost it. Rutter now. They're in trouble here, Villa. They're all over the place. And in the end, it's good work to win the ball back. They've lost it again. Rutter edge of the penalty area. Goes for the shot, drills it right-footed, and fingertips to put it over the top. Sloppy again from Aston Villa, losing possession on the edge of their own penalty area. And Rutter almost made them play. The guilty party was Pau Torres on this occasion. Just dilly-dallying on the ball. Rutter with the shot. And it's a fairly central shot. It's a decent effort from Rutter, but it's right down the throat of the goalkeeper. You'd expect the goalkeeper to make that save, and that's indeed what he did. But it has resulted in the first corner of the afternoon for Brighton. One apiece in that particular stat. And it'll be taken from this near side by Max De Kuiper. So it'll be a left-footed in-swinger from the man of the moment, really. The Belgian from this near side. Villa are hanging on here at the moment to a 2-0 scoreline. Oh, there's the ball towards the far post. And it's cleared by Villa. It was headed across the 6-yard area. Villa have got it clear. The ball is up in the air on the edge of the penalty area. A little bit of head tennis. There's Pau Torres getting it clear. Still the ball hasn't dropped down. Eventually it does drop down, and it drops down in favour of the man of the moment again. It's Max De Kuiper. And Brighton just to maintain possession, go all the way back towards the halfway line. Boscagli switches play towards the near side. That's a lovely ball as well. Pascal Gross in space, right inside of the penalty area. Tries to get the ball into the box, and that one's surely gone out of play for a corner. But the referee hasn't seen it. Allows play to continue, but Villa once more have given the ball away. Pascal Gross, low ball into the box towards the near post. Villa get it clear, and then Emi Buendia goes down under a challenge from Weaver, and that'll be a free kick for Aston Villa just outside their own penalty area. 25 minutes played, Brighton leading 2-0. And the pattern of these home wins in the league this season looks set to continue. Just Leeds United with that away win, that late win in the East Midlands against Nottingham Forest, as Villa go back to the goalkeeper. Bizzo goes long left-footed. Little flick on by Buendia, I think. In fact, the referee spotted something there. Might have been an offside flag. Free kick to Brighton just outside the centre circle. They've got a really good record, actually, of Brighton at the beginning of the season. And not since the season 2020-21 have they been beaten in their opening league game. They've won 4 and drawn 1 since then. And of course their season already started in Europe in midweek they've got a double header against Tromsø, the Norwegian outfit, in a qualifier. They drew 0-0 in the first leg. They'll fancy their chances of winning that second leg, which will be here in midweek. And they'll certainly fancy their chances of getting 3 points at the start of this league campaign, with a current lead of 2-0 against Aston Villa. Ball is with Verbruggen in all pink this afternoon. The Dutch goalkeeper drills one out towards the far side. Boskagli on it goes to Iyari. Back to Boskagli again. A little bit of space for Iyari again. Immediately plays the ball back out towards that far touchline. Boskagli's going to go long right-footed. Swept out towards his near side, and chasing it is Diego Gomez. Going to keep the ball in play. To be fair, he should have done. I just think he took his eye off the ball momentarily there, the Paraguayan. It's gone out of play, and it'll be a Villa throw in their left-back position, but really good work from Boskagli. Switching play towards that far side. Gomez rushing down the far side, and yeah, indeed he did. He just took his eye off the ball just for a second. Just, I think, to see what was in the box. I assume the intention was to just bring that ball down and then get the ball into the penalty area. Villa once more have given the ball away in a dangerous position, but on this occasion, Kamara tidies up and clears. Now then, Cash over the halfway line. We've not seen Villa in an attacking sense since they conceded that first goal, because up until that point they were the team making all the running here in Sussex. Cash on it goes to McGinn. McGinn retreating back towards the halfway line, and then a low ball right-footed back to Lindelof, right inside of the centre circle. He's got Pau Torres to his left. He's made his way inside that centre circle now. Again, it's sloppy from Villa. They've given the ball away, but that's tidied up in the end, I think, by Kamara. It's gone all the way back towards the edge of the penalty area. In fact, there's the pass back to Mario Bizzo, the goalkeeper. Villa again intent on playing out from the back. Cash over on the far side. And there's a foul there over on the far side. De Kuipers with the challenge. Free kick to Villa in their right back position. Yard or two infield from the far touchline, the Aston Villa right. 28 minutes played. And Brighton in cruise control. Still goalless in Manchester. Bournemouth, of course, from that huge unbeaten run, they haven't lost a... I think I'm right in saying they haven't lost a league game since the end of December, beginning of January, I believe, Bournemouth. Had a superb end to the season last season. Of course, they were the side that ultimately ended Manchester City's title challenge with that 1-1 draw down on the south coast, which resulted in the title being mathematically out of their hands and awarded to Arsenal. Here come Brighton again down this near side, but that's got too much on it, that pass out towards this near side. They're going to pray for a Villa throw in their left back position, which Ian Matson will take. Well, they look down to the bare bones, Aston Villa, at first glance, looking at this squad that they have, that they put out today. So much youth, and I'm no doubt about it, so much potential on that bench. But losing the likes of Ezra Konsa, Morgan Rogers, Emi Martinez looks to be on his way out. Ollie Watkins looks to be on his way out again as well. It's a real rebuilding job here for Unai Emery. He's done such a sensational job since he came to Birmingham. Now, ball out towards the far side. That's a good one. De Kuipers with the cross. It's a nice one as well. There's the head across 6-yard area. 3-0. Easy as you like. Ball towards the far post, headed across the 6-yard area. And it's headed in from practically on the goal line by Jack Hinchelwood. Easy as you like. Brighton Hove Albion 3, Aston Villa 0. And this is getting, well, it's getting a bit worrying for Aston Villa. It really is. It was so easy. The play was switched from right to left, out towards the far side. De Kuipers involved again. What a game he's having, by the way. He really is. And he floats the ball in towards the far post. It's nodded across the 6-yard area. And Hinshelwood, who's literally stood on the goal line, just nods it over the goal line. And before we've even played half an hour, it's Brighton and Hove Albion 3, Aston Villa 0. Ball switched towards the far side. The cross towards the far post. It's the header from the assist will go to Diego Gomez. Brilliant cross in from De Kuipers. He's been absolutely sensational. Towards the far post. Gomez gets there, just heads it across the 6-yard area. And Hinshelwood says thank you very much. He couldn't miss, could he? Heads it in from on the goal line. An open goal, really. And it's Brighton 3, Aston Villa 0. And it could get worse. It could get worse now. It's going to be 4-0. It is. Aston Villa playing out from the back. Hinshelwood picks the pocket of the defender. And it's 2 in a minute. And this is getting embarrassing for Aston Villa. It really is. And it's getting better and better and better for Brighton and Hove Albion. The Seagulls are flying here. It's 4-0. And we've only played half an hour. And we can already see Villa fans heading towards the exit. And you can't blame them. Hinshelwood scores a double in about 60 seconds. I'm not even sure how much time there was between the two goals, but it's 4-0 to Aston Villa. The ball goes back towards the right back position. Matty Cash back to Pau Torres inside his own penalty area. His ball out from the back, and the guilty party on this occasion was João Gomez, dilly-dallying with the ball on the edge of the penalty area, and he has his pocket picked actually by Yassin Iyari, straight to Hinshelwood, but he can't miss, can he? About 8 yards out, drills it beyond Mario Bisso, and it's 4-0 to Brighton and Hove Albion. And it's a little bit early to be talking about league tables, but Brighton are heading top of the table at this rate, because the biggest wins we've seen so far in this opening weekend are 3-0, of course. Arsenal and Brentford, of course, last night against Brighton and Hove Albion, 4-0 up. Brentford against Spurs, I should say, last night. They won 3-0 as well. But Brighton, just after the half-hour mark, are 4 up. And this could only get worse for Villa. They've been so poor at the back. Here's McGinn making a run down the right-hand side. He'll do well to keep the ball in play there, McGinn. He tries to play it off the Brighton player to get a corner, and in the end he's actually lost possession and committed a foul and got himself a yellow card, and that is just pure frustration from John McGinn. Nibbles into the back of Mats Wiefer. I would say he's got no complaints, but he has complained about the decision, has the Scotsman, but he's gone into the book and he joins his teammate João Gomez. It's 2 apiece now as far as yellow cards go. So it's Yassin Iyari and Pascal Gross for Brighton, and it's João Gomez and John McGinn, the Villa captain, for the away side, who've been completely blown away. They've been so sloppy, Aston Villa. They really have. Certainly 2 of the 4 goals have been gifted to Brighton. But let's not take anything away from Brighton. They've had to finish off, haven't they? It's all well and good. They're making mistakes. They could be in again here, Brighton. Ball out towards this near side, right-hand side of the penalty. Pascal Gross with a back heel now. He's taken the proverbial there, I think. Villa have won it back, and then Lindelof goes long. Lindelof goes long, but straight to a blue shirt. And Brighton, at the moment, Brighton could probably score as many as they need to score. If they needed to score another couple of goals before half-time, I'm sure they could. They are that superior to Villa, and Villa just don't know what's hit them. Ball goes out of play down this near side. And down the Aston Villa left, and it's going to be a Villa throw as well. It's come off of a Brighton player. 11 minutes to half-time. And yes, you do not need to adjust. It is 4-0 to Brighton and Hove Albion. And we can put that scoreline down to how well Brighton, well, equally really how well Brighton have played and how poorly Aston Villa have been. Ball down the right-hand side. McGinn will chase. McGinn does well. Holds the ball up over on the far side. Midway inside the Brighton half. Needs some support. Gets it. Lovely little cheeky back heel to Matty Cash. Continues his run down the right-hand side. Level with the edge of the penalty area. Back down the line towards McGinn. McGinn, there's the cross left-footed towards the far post. Gets far too much on it. And it's behind. And it's a goal kick for Brighton and Hove Albion. 10 minutes to half-time. And Bournemouth have taken the lead at Manchester City. Marcus Tavernier. Well, I did say they're on that incredible unbeaten run, are Bournemouth, and they've taken the lead now. Of course, Anton Semenyo against his former side as Verbruggen goes long. There's the flick on, but there's a flag up down this near side. Otherwise, Rutter would have been in, but I don't think Pascal Gross heard the whistle as he tries to steal the ball on the edge of the penalty area, but the whistle has indeed gone. The flag was up down this near side, and it would be a free kick to Aston Villa on the edge of their own penalty area. Mario Bissot beaten 4 times. Beaten by his own man to start with, of course. The own goal from Victor Lindelof in the 8th minute. Max Takaidba, who's been the man of the half, he really has a goal for him. He almost scored the first goal as well. It came off the defender last. And a couple of goals for Jack Hinshelwood. 2 in a minute for Hinshelwood. Gifted the second one. Villa go long. That's dealt with by Lewis Dunk. Clear towards the halfway line, but Villa do have it again with Kamara. Goes up towards the inside left position. Forward is Pau Torres. Gets the ball back down this near side, the Spaniard, and then goes back towards the halfway line. And here is João Gomez. Switch play towards the far side, Aston Villa. John McGinn, level with the edge of the penalty area. Just being held up by Boskagli. And McGinn just about keeps the ball in play. Continues to run down towards the corner flag. Boskagli is still there, and in the end, McGinn loses possession, and that summed up Aston Villa in this first half. It really has. As Boskagli goes long towards the halfway line, there's the header from Kamara, but again, it's sloppy from Villa, and Brighton tidy up, go all the way back to the goalkeeper, Bart Verbruggen. Low ball out to Lewis Dunk, left-hand side of the D, goes back to the Dutch goalkeeper. Traps the ball under his right boot and then low out towards the near side. Here is Vuskovic. Vuskovic holds it up and then in the end just plays it off of Emi Buendia. It'll be a throw-in for Brighton. They'll inside their own half down this right-hand side in front of the West Stand here. And it'll be taken by the Dutchman, and that's Wiefer. Wiefer just looking for some options here. Got to get on with it, of course, with the new rules in place for ensuring that throw-ins are taken quickly. Here's Rutter, just outside the centre circle. Can't quite find Diego Gomez, and Villa have it back. And then the low ball out towards the far side by João Gomez. Brighton have won it back over on the far side. Now racing forward, it's that man de Kuiper again. There's the cross towards this near post, and Villa can get it clear as it comes through to this the goalkeeper. Long down the centre, there's a Brighton player down over on the far side. The game is continuing, and Brighton are coming again with Hinshelwood. Hinshelwood tries to clip it through towards the right side of the penalty area. Beautifully taken down as well by Diego Gomez. Racing down towards the byline. Can't keep the ball in play. It's good defensive work in the end, actually, from Ian Matson. And is behind for a goal kick for Aston Villa. 7 minutes to half time. Referee Peter Banks just having a word with Jorginho Rutter there. Not entirely sure what about. Getting a replay now of Rutter just pushing into the back of the Villa player who was João Gomez. And it's gone a little beyond the fair barge, let's put it that way. And the referee had clocked it. Allowed play to continue because I think Villa had possession. But he's had a word with Jorginho Rutter, no more than that. Well, hang on a minute, because the referee is coming towards the near side. Well, this could be interesting. This could be very interesting. So referee has been told to come towards the near side, Peter Banks, to have a look at the monitor. And we'll get to see what he's looking at. Well, Rutter pushes over João Gomez. It's then what Gomez does. Does he lash out? This could be getting worse for Aston Villa because he pushes into him, and when he's on the floor, his leg comes up. And does he lash out at Jorginho Rutter? And if he does, he's off. And Aston Villa are already trailing by 4-0, could be down 10 men and have to play the entire second half down to 10 men. Now let's hear what Peter Banks is going to say. So, after review, Aston Villa 35, João Gomez kicks out at the Brighton number 10, Jorginho Rutter. Confirmation from Peter Banks. There's the red card, and this miserable afternoon is getting worse and worse for Aston Villa because João Gomez on his debut here for Aston Villa. 40 million euros. The Brazilian came in from Wolverhampton Wanderers, and he's been sent off for lashing out at Jorginho Rutter. They were on the ground. You could clearly see in the replay. Well, I did mention after the fourth goal had gone in that some of the Villa fans had left. Well, there's another horde of them leaving now as well. They were never going to get back in this game anyway at 4-0 down, but they're certainly not going to get back into it at 4-0 down. And with one less man for the remainder of this game, the whole of the second half they'll have to play, and the last 5 minutes of this first half, a miserable first half for Unai Emery. It really has been. Everything that could have gone wrong has gone wrong, really, for Villa. And you do fear for them that it could get a lot worse. With Brighton in the mood that they're in, with the 4 goals they've already got now with a one-man advantage, and they could really press that home, couldn't they, in the remaining 5 minutes of this first half plus the second half. So Brighton 4, Aston Villa 0, Villa down to 10. You are listening to unofficial off-tube commentary of Brighton and Hove Albion versus Aston Villa here in the English top flight. And, well, we've had a few headlines, haven't we, in this opening weekend. I guess the biggest one being that victory for Hull City against Manchester United yesterday. But this could be a big story as well that's developing, I think, down this near side for... And I don't want to take anything away from Brighton. It certainly shouldn't be all about Villa. Here come Brighton again. There's the cross. Headed clear towards the edge of the penalty area. Shot comes in. That one's blocked. And I think it was Ayari. Clears towards the left-hand side of the penalty area. Low ball back into the box. Hinshelwood for the hat-trick. Oh, he's just held up on the edge of the penalty area. There's the reverse ball, which is cleared. Shot comes in. And, oh, my goodness, less said about that one, the better from Matt Sweefer. It's well wide. They're almost toying with Villa there, Brighton. But there was an opportunity in there for Jack Hinshelwood to get his hat-trick. And actually, you've got to give the dues to Pau Torres. It was a good challenge from him, actually, to prevent him from getting the shot away. Eventually it was cleared towards the edge of the penalty area. Matt Sweeper, first-time shot, which was as close to the corner flag as it was the goal. It's behind. It's a goal kick for Aston Villa. 3 minutes to half-time. Brighton 4, Villa 0. Villa down to 10. Own goal starting us off with Victor Lindelof. And the second through to Kuiper, and then a double in around about a minute, I think it was, for Jack Hinshelwood. There's the long ball forward again for Brighton. That's tidied up by Victor Lindelof, who goes back to his goalkeeper with the cushioned header. Goalkeeper puts the ball down on the edge of his penalty area. Looks left, looks right, doesn't quite know what to do, the goalkeeper. In the end, he goes long left-footed out towards this near side. There's a little flick on, but it's not going to find a black shirt. Villa in the change strip this afternoon, and here comes Pascal Gross. They're in the mood for more here. Play towards the edge of the penalty area. Shot comes in. Oh, it's dragged wide at the left-hand post. De Kuiper should have made it 5. Well, it just feels like Brighton can score at will at the moment here, and they should have scored. And De Kuiper, who's been absolutely brilliant in his first half, but he should have scored that one, brings the ball down beautifully inside the D. The goalkeeper's just rooted to the spot. If it's on target, it's a goal, and he drags it good 3 or 4 yards wide at the goalkeeper's left-hand post. That should have been 5-0 to Brighton. And it was so easy, just a ball over the top for Brighton towards Pascal Gross. Loops it across the 18-yard line. There's De Kuiper. He's got all the time in the world. Here they come again. Jorginho Rutter. Rutter, edge of the penalty here, holds the ball up. Needs some support here, Rutter. Maybe he doesn't. Plays it through towards Pascal Gross. There's De Kuiper. Gets the shot away. Again, he should score, but there's a really good block in there, actually, from Matty Cash. They are hanging on for dear life here, Aston Villa. Every time Brighton come forward, they look like they're going to score a 5th. And they could probably do with a half-time whistle at the moment. Quite a few have gone for their half-time because there's a lot of empty blue seats over on the far side now, just trying to beat the rush. Happy to see their team dominating this first half here. Brighton, we're inside the last minute of the first. We'll have a little bit of stoppage time, particularly for that stoppage for the red card when the referee came over to the monitor and ultimately dished out that red for João Gomes on his debut for Aston Villa. And he'll be suspended, of course, now. Here come Brighton again. Hinshelwood is fouled, wants to take the free kick quickly and does so. Ball released out towards the left-hand side of the penalty area. De Kuiper's, there's the cross. Pascal Gross is in there. Was he fouled? No, the referee allows play to continue. They've lost it again, edge of the penalty area. Shot comes in. Oh, it's well saved by the goalkeeper. Put behind for a corner. That could have been the 5th. And it just feels like a matter of time. On this occasion, it's Diego Gomez with the shot. Poked it down low towards the goalkeeper's right-hand post. And he got down well, actually, Bizzo, the goalkeeper there, to turn it behind. It'll be Brighton's second corner of the afternoon. It's a really good save, actually, from the goalkeeper. It's a toe poke from the Port Paraguayan. Gets down really low towards his right-hand side, does the Dutch goalkeeper. As we enter stoppage time at the end of this first half, Brighton will have a corner from the far side. It'll be right-footed in swinger from Pascal Gross. Gross now hands on hips over on the far side. Up he steps now, the German. A lot of height on it towards the far post. He's got too much height on it, actually. It's a really poor corner from the ex-Dortmund man, and it's actually gone behind. It'll be a goal kick. We're inside stoppage time then. 5 minutes to add on. Most of that, I would assume, for that stoppage for the check on the red card. Well, I mentioned Matty Cash with the buzz cut. Well, also, same can be said for Fabian Hürzeler, the Brighton coach, who's done such a fabulous job since he took over. He really has. Still 1-0 to Bournemouth, by the way, in the other 2 o'clock. 4:30 for Newcastle and Liverpool. Inside the centre circle now is John McGinn. He draws the foul from Gomez. So free kick to from Max de Kuiper, I should say. Free kick to Villa. We've played a minute of stoppage time, so 4 more to play. And McGinn readies this free kick for Villa. He's going to float one out towards the right-hand side of the penalty area. And there's the header clear towards the edge of the penalty area. Beautifully brought down as well by Yasser Yari, who then goes long. Loops the ball out towards the far side. Rutter, can he get the ball on for Brighton? No, he can't. It's good work, actually, from Boubacar Kamara for Villa. Back to Ross Barkley. Barkley's been totally anonymous, hasn't he? As have many of these Villa players. Here's Pau Torres. Lindelof behind him if he needs him. And in the end, he does feed the Swede. Low ball over the halfway line. Really sloppy again from Lindelof. Brighton have it again. Midway inside the Villa half. But there's Pau Torres to tidy up. Now Emi Buendia. On it goes towards his right-hand side. And George Hemmings. He's not made a change following that sending off. Unai Emery, assuming he's waiting to half-time to shuffle the pack. I can't imagine that Villa are going to come out with the same 10 players in the second half. McGinn over on the far side, infield to Kamara again, and then it's all the way back towards the halfway line. It's inside the centre circle now with Ross Barkley, the ex-Chelsea man, ex-Luton Town, of course. Barkley finds Torres behind him, who goes square to Lindelof. Right inside of the centre circle, he's got Cash to his right-hand side. He finds the Polish international, who then retreats back into his own half and then plays the ball back to Lindelof. Lindelof is being pushed back here by Hinshelwood, goes all the way back to his goalkeeper, who's inside the D. Takes one touch and then clips it towards the halfway. And it's a lovely ball, actually, from the goalkeeper towards John McGinn. But John McGinn, half asleep, loses possession. It's not been his finest 45 minutes for the Scot. We played 3 minutes now of stoppage time, 2 to go. And Brighton looked intent on getting a fifth before half-time, but they just appear to be playing out for time here now. Fabian Hürzeler's men. It's been a fabulous first 45 for them. A wretched first 45 of the season for Aston Villa and Unai Emery. And eyebrows were raised when we looked at the squad this afternoon, and more eyebrows are going to be raised after today's game. With this performance, with this scoreline. Here's Vuskovic. Weaver now just over the halfway line, down this near side, immediately plays it back inside his own half. Here's Vuskovic again, dunked to his left-hand side, but he goes for the 1-2 between himself and Yari inside the centre circle. Almost toying with Aston Villa at the moment. Over the halfway line it comes. Weaver. And Pascal Gross sweeps it back inside his own half to Vuskovic again, and then Gross again, right-hand side of the centre circle as we enter the final minute of stoppage time here in the first half. Brighton 4, Aston Villa 0. Victor Lindelof in the 8th minute with an own goal. Max de Kuiper with a second in the 18th, and then Jack Hinshelwood with 2 in a minute, 30 and 31. And then 5 minutes to half-time, João Gomez adding to the Aston Villa misery. Shown a straight red as he lashed out at Jorginho Rutter. Frustration from him, frustration from Villa as a whole. Ever since that first goal went in, really, because they actually started the game. It's hard to remember now, but they actually started the game quite well, Villa. They were certainly the better team up until the first goal. And then from the moment that goal went in and Brighton took the lead, it's just been one-way traffic here on the south coast. One final attack possibly for Villa. No, that's a sloppy ball forward by Barkley. Can't find Emi Buendia. Goes out of play. And it'll be a throw-in for Brighton down this near side, but inside their own half, the Brighton right. Just about time to take it before the half-time whistle goes. And in the other game in the Premier League, the other 2 o'clock kickoff, which is fast approaching half-time as well. It's still Manchester City 0, Bournemouth 1. And there goes the half-time whistle. Well, delight in the Sussex sunshine here for Brighton and Hove Albion. Misery for Unai Emery and Aston Villa. They're down to 10 men. And at half-time, it's Brighton 4, Aston Villa 0. We'll be back in 15 for the second half. Welcome back to the South Coast, this opening weekend of the league season. Half-time, what a first half that was here in the Sussex sunshine. Well, it was for Brighton, certainly not for Aston Villa. Brighton leading by 4-0. An own goal from Victor Lindelof setting things underway. Max de Kuiper with the second, and then 2 goals in a minute for Jack Hinshelwood, and then more misery for Villa with João Gomez being sent off. Brighton are going to get us underway in the second half, playing from right to left, attacking the north stand towards our left-hand side, and all blue, their usual home strip. Away strip for Villa. They're in a black with yellow trim shirt, white shorts, white socks. Our referee is Peter Banks from Lancashire. You are listening to unofficial off-tube commentary of Brighton & Hove Albion versus Aston Villa in the English top flight. So game gets underway in this second half, and it's just about... damage limitation, I think, for Aston Villa in this second half. It really is. And Brighton have really got an opportunity to push on and inflict more pain on Unai Emery's men. They have possession inside the centre circle. That's what's near side. A little bit of space now for de Kuiper. Certainly the man of the first half for me. 1 goal, could have had another, had an assist as well. There's his cross as well. He's got a lot on it towards the far post. There's the header clear, though, for Villa towards the edge of the penalty. It's headed back into the mix, and there's Lindelof to get it clear. Brighton want a free kick. Referee's allowed play to continue, and Villa can bring it away with McGinn. McGinn, ball down the centre. It's an interesting one, and it's not going to quite reach its intended recipient, which was young George Hemmings. I'll give you the lineups then. Doesn't look as if there have been any changes at half-time. Do wonder whether Villa would make any changes, but for Brighton, Verbruggen in goal. The back four from left to right, Boskagli, Dunk, Vuskovic and Wiefer. Holding in midfield, Yari and Gross. And then de Kuiper's over on the left. Gomez down the right, and Hinshelwood just off of Rutter. Cross comes in from the far side again for Bright, but that one's dealt with by Pau Torres, and Villa can clear over the far side. So they've got Bizzo in goal. Back four from left to right, Matson, Torres, Lindelof and Cash. Kamara, Hemmings, Barkley, McGinn in midfield, Buendia leading the line. On the benches, first of all, for the hosts, Castinia, David, Kostulas, Osman, Steele, Strike, Svoboda, Yaukoi and Johanna. For Villa, Allison, Bogard, Burrows, Garnacho, Lynch, Mings, Rowe, Ruggieri and Suzuki. It's unsurprisingly Brighton and Hove Albion with possession with de Kuipers down this near side. Back it goes towards Boskagli infield, and space for Ayari. Ayari goes back to Vuskovic, who then plays the first time ball out towards the far side of Pascal Gross. It comes back to the number 9, the 19-year-old, just outside the centre circle. Square to his right-hand side, and Wiefer in between 2 Villa players. Villa get the challenge in, but Brighton win it back with Wiefer, who goes all the way back towards the halfway line again. And Vuskovic switches play towards this near side, beautifully brought down on the chest as well by de Kuiper. Low ball into the box is cut out, and it comes back to the Belgian down this near side. 1-2 between himself and Strike, and then all the way back towards the halfway line. Vuskovic is going to leave it on this occasion for Wiefer, and Wiefer finds Gomez over on that far side. I mean, it goes all the way back towards the halfway line. They're capped inside this Villa half. Brighton and Hove Albion. Gomez ball into the box, half clear towards the edge of the penalty area. Come back to Gomez again, and then lining up the shot. I think it hits a Brighton player. It was Vuskovic with the shot. I think it hit his own player. Indeed it was. Indeed it did. It hit Jorginho Rutter, who was in an offside position. The flag goes up over the far side, and it'll be a free kick to Villa inside their own penalty area. Another game going on at the same time as this one. Manchester City against Bournemouth, half-time in that one. Manchester City 0, Bournemouth 1. The goal from Marcus Tavernier in the 26th minute. They just kicked off in the second half in that one. And then later on today, Newcastle against Liverpool up on Tyneside at St James's. Villa go long. McGinn, right-hand side of the penalty, down towards the byline, looking for Matty Cash. He's overrun that one, though, and it goes behind. And it'll be a goal kick for Brighton and Hove Albion. 4 minutes played at the start of the second half. Villa, who made a miserable start to the season last year. They failed to win in their first 5 league games, and they didn't score in the opening 4. And here we are, 12 months on, and they're getting an absolute pasting from a very, very well-drilled Brighton and Hove Albion side, who've won the ball back again, midway inside the Villa half. Space down this near side for de Kuiper if they can find him, but they've looked out towards the far side now. That ball clipped out towards Gomez. There's the little cushioned header. Back towards Weaver. Villa have got everyone back behind the ball, just on the edge of the 18-yard line. Eventually does find the Kuipers. There's the cross left-footed. It's a nice one as well, and it's headed over the bar. And behind for a corner by Pau Torres. And Brighton will have their third corner of the afternoon. And they're threatening more here in this second half. De Kuiper, lovely ball in, left-footed. And now Torres does his job. Heads over the bar. Corner for the host. It's going to be taken by De Kuipers. Actually, he's making his way over towards the far side for this ball in from this from the far side in the corner of the north and east stand here at the home of Brighton and Hove Albion. It's going to be a left-footed in-swinger, if indeed he does go long. Over towards the far side as well is Vuskovic if he wants to go short, but he's going to play it. He drills it in. There's the shot. Oh, and it's dragged wide at the goalkeeper's right-hand post. That was an opportunity. Ayari it was. He met it full on the volley. About 12 yards out. Straight off the training ground, this one. If he's on target, I think it's 5-0. But he drags it wide of the goalkeeper's right-hand post, and it's behind. It's a goal kick to Aston Villa. 6 minutes played at the start of the second. Brighton 4, Villa 0. And it's a little bit early to be talking about league tables, but Brighton are heading top as it stands with this. This will be the biggest win of this opening weekend so far. And after this performance, I don't think anyone's going to want to play Brighton early doors. They've got Chelsea in the next league game at Stamford Bridge, and then their next home game is against Leeds. They then go to Coventry, newly promoted Coventry, and then they welcome the champions Arsenal here on the 19th before we then have that extended international break. Here come Villa. Oh, that's a good effort as well into the side netting from Ian Matson, left-footed. It was a difficult one from that angle, trying to beat the keeper at the near post. Reels it towards the goalkeeper's right-hand side, Matson, and it's into the side netting. It rippled that net, and initially there were a few of the Villa fans behind that goal who've remained, of course. Many of them have gone. Many of them headed for the exit following the fourth goal, and many more headed for the exit when João Gomez was sent off. That was about 5 minutes before half-time. Well, they thought they saw a consolation there from Matson, but it was into the side netting. And now it's Brighton with possession again on the halfway line with Buscagli. Infield to Ayari, lovely turn by Ayari as he goes back to Vuskovic. Vuskovic spreads play towards the far side, and Weaver down the line to Gomez. Weaver gets it back, infield it goes again to Ayari. Ayari inside the Villa half, spreads play out towards his near side. De Kuiper will do well to keep that ball in play. Well, I'll tell you what he does. Had to get about 2 foot off the ground to chest that one down, and then plays it out towards the far side again. Pascal Gross right side of the penalty area. There's the cross, and they're queuing up in there, and in the end John McGinn says let's get it clear, and puts the ball behind for another corner. Didn't know what was behind him, the Scot, because he did have time there to clear that ball, to bring that ball down and clear it, but in the end just first time clearance behind for a corner. And McGinn lines up, just marking Lewis Dunk as Pascal Gross comes across to his near side to take this corner. Wearing the number 13, the German for Brighton. Right-footed in swinging from this near side, the Brighton left. Nearly 9 minutes played at the start of the second half as Brighton threaten a fifth here in the opening weekend of the season. Drills it towards the far post, and in the end it's harmlessly gone through to the Aston Villa goalkeeper Mario Bissot. Play towards the far post. I think there is a Brighton head on it. I think Luka Vuskovic just about gets something on it, and in the end it just trickles through harmlessly to the goalkeeper. Matty Cash, long ball down the line. Here's McGinn. Nice ball inside towards Kamara. Gets the ball back down this near side. Back to Cash again. Cash in between two Brighton players. Got to be careful here, the Polish international. Still has possession as he makes his way out towards this near side, then retreats back inside his own half and goes all the way back to the edge of his own 18-yard line with Victor Lindelof. Lindelof on towards Barkley. Finds McGinn. McGinn twisting, turning down this near side. Still inside his own half, McGinn. And then a lovely ball down this right-hand side. And it'll be chased by George Hemmings. Hemmings now has got to square the ball. He does square the ball. It's a really poor ball in, actually. It almost reaches Maatsen. Maatsen goes down on the edge of the penalty area, winning a free kick. The referee plays on. Waves play on. And Brighton have it again over the far side. And Brighton, when they have a free kick, the referee stopped play. There's a tangle between Mats Wiefer and Emi Buendia. It's resulted in a free kick for Brighton, but it's the Villa player that's down. Just looking at a replay of it. Well, Buendia slides in and then gets a little bit of boot. It's all accidental from what I could see. And Buendia, well, the referee is actually calling for the trainer to come on to check on Buendia. That was a real opportunity for Villa, though. Lovely ball out towards this near side for Hemmings. Hemmings has got plenty to aim for. And he squares the ball across the 18-yard line, and all he could find was Pascal Gross. And the ball was eventually cleared for Brighton, and Brighton have eventually got themselves a free kick. We're 11 minutes into the second half. Brighton and Hove Albion 4, Aston Villa 0. And elsewhere it's still Manchester City 0, Bournemouth 1. So Brighton with possession. Pascal Gross. Low ball down the line over on the far side towards Wiefer. Back to Gomez. Now Vuskovic inside the centre circle, square to his left and Dunk. Brighton continued to make all the running here on the south coast. Space opens up now for Boscogli. Ball towards the right hand side of the penalty. Can Gomez control it? Can he get into the mix? Well, he gets it in towards that 6-yard area. Hinshelwood was there. Hinshelwood is sniffing a hat-trick, of course, but in the end it bobbles on through harmlessly to the Aston Villa goalkeeper. Looks as if he was offside actually in the build-up there, Gomez, as the ball was looped over the top. Indeed it would have been, so if that had ended up in the back of the net, it would have been chalked off as Villa go long. Back to the goalkeeper goes Boscogli, who then gets the ball back from the Dutch goalkeeper down this near side. And Brighton are on their way once more with Yasin Ayari, the Swede, advancing towards the halfway line. 1-2 between himself and Hinshelwood. Then back to Dunk. Dunk square to Vuskovic. Not had anything to do as far as defensive mind goes. Brighton really, but those first few minutes when Villa started brightly before that opening goal in the 8th minute, that own goal from Victor Lindelof. Vuskovic, that's a lovely ball to Gomez, right side of the penalty area, cuts it back. Could this be 5? They're queuing up in there. Hinshelwood can't quite set his feet right. Villa get it clear towards the edge of the penalty area. Brighton have it again. There's the cross towards the far post. It's got a little bit too much on it from Pascal Gross, but Gomez will retrieve right side of the penalty area, then overruns it slightly, and then gets the ball back immediately because Hemmings didn't know he was right behind him. Cross comes in from the right-hand side this time. Again, Hinshelwood is in there sniffing his hat-trick, but Villa are going to get the ball clear down this near side with John McGinn. And McGinn just plays it off of Pascal Gross in the end. So it's out of play. It's a Villa throw. Level with the edge of their own penalty area down their right-hand side. 58 minutes on the clock. And still we await the first change from either side. I did wonder whether Unai Emery might make a change or two at half-time. But we've not seen, or thus far, we haven't seen the likes of Alejandro Garnacho or Bogard. And those youngsters, of course, who run the bench as well for Villa. Really stretched at the moment, this Aston Villa squad. Here's Maatsen. Maatsen held up over on the far side, but does well to get beyond Diogo Gomez and continues his run down the left-hand side. Then he overruns it, and it goes all the way through to the goalkeeper Verbruggen. Out to Dunk, edge of his D. Ahead of him is Boscogli. He's going to switch play towards that far side. It's a lovely ball as well. Floated out to Gomez over on the Brighton right-hand side. Holds it up. Then down the line. There comes the cross, right-footed. Clear towards the edge of the penalty area. And Lewis Stump tries to win it back. Going to get it clear towards the halfway line. But it's Brighton once again. Wiefer. Low ball out towards the far side. Here's Gomez again. Gomez infield to Rutter. That's a poor first touch by him. A little bit too heavy, but Brighton win it straight back again because Villa just can't keep it. It's like a hot potato at the moment for Aston Villa, this ball. And that was certainly true in that first half. There was a period, around about a 10-15 minute period really, where Villa just looked absolutely all over the place. And during that period they conceded 3 goals. Could have conceded more actually. I mean, it's 4-0 at half time. It could have been 5 or 6 quite easily. Brighton at times toying with Unai Emery's men. We're on the hour mark now. Brighton and Hove Albion 4, Aston Villa 0, and Aston Villa down to 10 men following the sending off of João Gomes shortly before half time. Here's De Kuipers. Now Boskagli. Infield to Lewis Dunk. Dunk's going to get the cross in. Right foot. It's a good delivery as well. And it was curling in to the back of the net. It wasn't intended as a shot on goal from Lewis Dunk. It was just a inviting ball into the box, right footed, which evaded everybody. And in the end, Mario Bisso had to stick out the right paw to put it behind, and Brighton will have their 5th corner of the afternoon as they look for a 5th on the hour mark, or just after the hour mark. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 blue shirts lined up inside that penalty area. It's going to be a right-footed outswinger from Pascal Gross, and it comes now. There's the header. Rutter completely misses it at the near post as the header from around about the penalty spot was headed down towards the left-hand side of the 6-yard area on the swivel, on the turn. Rutter, who actually was in an offside position, spared his blushes really because he completely missed his shot, completely air-kicked, and it's gone behind, and it'll be a goal kick for Aston Villa. Low ball out towards Lindelof. Lindelof finds Cash. Cash in the right back position. He's going to have to clear long down the line. He can't do so because it's good work from the Brighton defender. It will be a throw-in for Villa, which Cash wants to take, but there's no ball at the moment for the Polish international. Cash eventually gets the ball down this near side and waves his teammates forward. He's going to go long down the line. Doesn't quite reach Emi Buendia, and Brighton have it once more with Yasin Yari. Plays it back inside his own half to Vuskovic, left-hand side of the centre circle. Leaves it for Dunk. Yari again. Now Dunk once more, left-hand side of the penalty area. Almost half the pitch now this side, this near side in front of the West Stand now in the shade. Still beautiful sunshine over on the other side though in front of the East Stand here in Sussex. This beautiful, warm, dry, late summer afternoon. Starting the league season with a bang here, the Seagulls. Not so much of a bang in this second half. It's been more like a training session so far for Brighton. You can't blame them. It's hard to keep up I mean, could they be as good as they were in the first half? But secondly, could Aston Villa be as bad as they were in the first half? Possibly not. Yari floats one out towards Rutter, who'd made a run down the left-hand side, but it's got too much height on it. That one's gone behind, and it will be a throw-in for Villa. Level with the edge of their own penalty area down their right-hand side. So a couple of changes here for Brighton. Pustulas, the Greek, is going to come on, as is Costinha, the Portuguese. And the first change is, well, it looks like Jack Hinshelwood's not going to get his hat-trick this afternoon. 2 goals in a minute to effectively put this game beyond Aston Villa. 30 and 31 minutes for Hinshelwood. He wanted that hat-trick, didn't he? He had a couple of chances towards the end of the first half to get the match ball, but it wasn't to be. And the other player to come off is the Swede, Yasin Ayari. So 2 changes for Brighton in the 64th minute. Nothing yet for Aston Villa and Unai Emery. It's still, well, it's not the starting 11, is it? It's the starting 10. They don't have 11 players on the field, but they haven't changed that lineup, Villa. As Vuskovic goes back to the goalkeeper. Low ball out to Lewis Dunk over on that far side. Immediately returns the favour by going back to the Dutch goalkeeper. Now Yari. And, Costinha, I should say. Yari's gone off. Here's Dunk. And Dunk finds Boskagli towards his left-hand side. Boskagli advances towards the halfway line, then goes back in field to Vuskovic again. Just those 2 changes for Brighton, who do have a European game, of course, in midweek, a qualifier. Second leg against the Norwegian side, Tromsø, 0-0 from the first leg. They'll be hot favourites to make it through in that one. Now De Kuipers, low called across the 18-yard line. It's a dangerous one as well. Will it reach Brighton player? Well, there's the shot. Oh, it's off the post, and it comes back towards the edge of the 6-yard area. The ball is put into the net, but the offside flag had already gone up. Well, the first shot would have counted. It was Kostulas as well with the finish, the Greek. And would have been his first touch. He put it into the back of the net, but the offside flag had gone up. Low ball across the 18-yard line. The shot comes in, and I doubt he's in an offside position, just looking at a replay of that. And just slotted into the empty net. The initial shot from the edge of the penalty area was from Costilla, so it was the first substitute that just came on. I think that was his first touch after coming off the bench. He hits the post with his first touch. Ball comes back to Kostulas, and with his first touch, he puts the ball into the empty net. But indeed, and VAR has confirmed it, he was in an offside position as that shot by the Portuguese was played on the edge of the penalty area. So free kick to Villa on the edge of their own penalty area. It's Lindelof. Clips it towards the halfway line. It's cut out down this near side, and immediately Brighton on their way again. But De Kuiper has lost possession, and in trying to win the ball back, he's actually committed the foul, the Belgian. So free kick for Aston Villa, just shy of the halfway line, to the right of the centre circle, and will be taken by Boubacar Kamara, the 26-year-old Frenchman. Back to Barkley. Barkley back towards the edge of his penalty. Almost had his pocket pick there. He was lucky. And in the end, the ball ricochets back to the goalkeeper, Mario Bizzo. Puts the ball down. They've got, again, they've almost lost possession playing out from the back here, Villa. Playing a dangerous game. They've managed to smuggle it out towards Cash, though, down this near side. Cash over the halfway line. He comes. There's the ball down the line. It's a good one from Cash as well to Hemmings. Hemmings now. Cash has continued his run down the right-hand side, and he returns the favour, Hemmings, by finding Cash. Twisting, turning down this near side, and Brighton are back in numbers now. And eventually he finds Hemmings, but Hemmings is retreating back towards the halfway line. In fact, he plays it all the way back inside his own half to Victor Lindelof. Well, midway through the second half here, down on the south coast, Brighton 4, Aston Villa 0. Villa down to 10 men as well. All the damage done in the first half, all 4 goals, plus the sending off in that first 45. Villa have won the ball back now over on the far side with Buendia. Low ball out towards Maatsen, left-hand side of the penalty area. Maatsen down towards the byline, and he's won himself a corner. Well, there certainly are Villa fans who've stayed. There's a lot of noise being made behind that goal towards the right side in the south stand. And, well, you can't blame many of them in the first half for wanting to beat the traffic with their team 4-0 down and down to 10 men, but a lot of them have stayed, and they'll want to see a little bit of fighting spirit. They've got a corner, and it comes. And it's come off of Barkley at the near post, I think it is. It loops over the bar, and it's a goal kick, and that was a wasted opportunity for Villa. McGinn with the corner. And I think it just came off of Ross Barkley's shoulder in the end of the near post, I think it was. Loops well over the crossbar towards our right-hand side into the south stand where those Villa fans are, those that have stayed. And a goal kick for Brighton and Hove Albion. And midway through, they are now midway through the second half at Manchester City, and it's still 1-0 to Bournemouth there. And Aston Villa have possession with Ross Barkley inside the centre circle. Pau Torres now. Barkley has stayed with him. He's gone forward in the end to young George Hemmings. Back to Barkley. Barkley looking for an outlet, and in the end he's just played it low towards his right side, and Matty Cash down the line to McGinn. McGinn on it goes towards Kamara. Kamara will chase, and Kamara's got possession there right side of the penalty area. Then strong challenge comes in. Fair one, says the referee, and Brighton can get it clear. There were shouts from the Villa fans, and eventually Brighton have got a free kick. I think there's a handball in there, possibly from Hemmings, and it'll be a free kick for Aston Villa. For Brighton, I should say, midway inside their own half, about 15 yards infield from the left-hand touchline. It'll be taken by Matt Sweefer, who just lays it off to Lewis Dunk. Advancing towards the halfway line now is Pascal Gross with the 1-2 between himself and Matt Sweefer. Now it's Vuskovic. Vuskovic switches play towards the left-hand side. Dunk brings it over the halfway line, floats one out towards the far side. It's one to chase, and the chase is on for Diego Gomez, but he's not going to get there. It goes behind, and it'll be a goal kick for Villa inside the last 20. So just a reminder of everything that's happened so far in this opening weekend of the league season. Friday night, Arsenal 3, Coventry 0. Yesterday it was Hull 2, Man United 0, and the big shock result of the weekend. Everton 2, Palace 0, Ipswich 2, Sunderland 1, and Forest 0, Leeds 1, and then the tea time game was Brentford 3, Spurs 0. Here it's Brighton 4, Villa 0, it's Manchester City 0, Bournemouth 1, Newcastle and Liverpool kicks off at 4:30, and then it all comes to a head the opening weekend on Monday night with a West London derby between Fulham and Chelsea. There will be games again next weekend on all 4 days, because on Friday it's Palace against Man City, Saturday Liverpool, Forest, Bournemouth, Everton, Coventry, Hull, Spurs, Newcastle. Sunday is Chelsea, Brighton, Leeds, Brentford, Sunderland, Fulham, Man United, Ipswich, and then on the Monday night, well, Villa, they've got to recover quickly because they'll be playing the champions a week tomorrow at Villa Park, their first home game of the season. And Unai Emery will come up against his old side. Here come Brighton again, ball towards the edge of the penalty. Villa throw in down this near side. There's a bit of movement on the Aston Villa. Bit of a movement on the Aston Villa bench over on the, well, down this near side. They're going to make at least one change by the looks of things. Well, it's taken a while, hasn't it? We're in the 73rd minute now before Unai Emery has thought about making a change or two for his depleted side. And Brighton have possession at the moment over on the far side with Gomez. Gomez in the end lashes the ball back inside his own half, way outside of his penalty area. Is Verbruggen. Verbruggen's almost inside the centre circle, in fact. His Dunk left hand side of that centre circle. It's not been a great deal of effort from Brighton in this second half to get more goals. Certainly towards the end of the first half, they looked like they could have gone on and got 5 or 6 easily, but in this second half, the chances have been few and far between. But the job was done in that first 45. The crowd would love another one. The icing on the cake, another one to take home with them. Here's Dunk, midway inside the Villa half, just to left of centre. Square to his left of Boskagli. Boskagli finds De Kuipers. De Kuipers ball across the edge of the 18-yard line. Villa get the challenge in, and John McGinn can bring it clear. But McGinn, who's not had a particularly good game, I've sung John McGinn's praises on many, many occasions over the years, but he's not been at the races this afternoon. In fact, his whole team have failed to be at the races. Here come Brighton again. Substitute Costulas. There's De Kuipers. Another lovely ball in from the Belgium. It's headed clear out towards the far side, but first to it, as usual, is on this occasion it's Wiefer for Brighton. Ball down towards the byline. Gomez, we cut the ball back. Oh, and it's well, in fact, the offside flag has gone up. It's pushed clear by Bizzo at the near post, but the offside flag went up, and it'll be a free kick to Villa inside their own penalty area. And this will be the opportunity for changes. 6 and 26 are the numbers up on the board. Ross Barkley's afternoon is over, and that means Lamar Bogard, the Dutchman's going to come on. So Barkley's afternoon is done. It's going to be a triple change by the looks of things. 14 and 5 are the next numbers up. So Tyrone Mings is on, and Pau Torres, his afternoon is over, the Spaniard. And then the third and final change. I say the third and final change. I thought there was going to be 3 changes. Maybe it's just the 2 for now. Maybe a sign of something to come. But for now, it's just the 2 for Aston Villa. So just to confirm, Pau Torres and Ross Barkley are off. And it's Lamar Bogard, the Dutchman, and then Tyrone Mings to come on with just over 15 minutes left for play here on the South Coast. Brighton 4, Aston Villa 0. As the ball was just about kept in play over on the far side by Bogard with his first touch. Eventually it has gone out, but Villa will get themselves a throw in here. And it'll be Maatsen to take it. Maatsen goes long down the line towards Emi Buendia. It's not going to find Emi Buendia, but it's put out of play again. It will be another Villa throw. This one's pretty much midway inside the Brighton half now, still down the Villa left. And again, the Dutchman, Ian Maatsen, to take it. Throws long down towards the byline. And again, Brighton have dealt with it. Brighton can get it clear, but they've gifted possession back over on the far side to Maatsen. Maatsen scrambling for it. And almost loses possession. In fact, he has lost possession, and Brighton can bring it clear now over the halfway line. They might have a break on here. Brighton play this one right. There's the ball out towards this near side, and scampering down this left-hand side was Boscagli. He did really well just to keep the ball in play, but not just did he keep the ball in play, managed to find a Brighton player in the form of Costulas as well down the left-hand side of the penalty area. Eventually the ball has gone out of play, and it will be a throw-in for Villa in their right-back position. Well, they had an opportunity there, Brighton. They had players forward. Now an opportunity to break the ball out towards this left-hand side towards Boscagli. Just wasn't good enough. Just had far too much pace on it. And the Frenchman did well just to get his boot on it and managed to keep it in play to prevent the throw-in. But ultimately, it broke up that attack for Brighton and Hove Albion. And it's resulted in a Villa throw, which Cash has taken. Buendia gets a little flick on, but that one's going to be tidied up nicely for Brighton. All the way back to the goalkeeper by Weaver, I think it was. Now Dunk walking the ball towards the halfway line and then leaves it for Boscagli. Boscagli spreads space towards the far side. That's a lovely ball out to Gomez as well. Gomez now. There's the overlap for Pascal Gross. There's the cross. This is the opportunity. Is it for the fifth? No, it's a sliding challenge from Tyrone Mings to get it clear. And then the acrobatics from Costulas with the bicycle kick, which is always rising over the bar towards our left-hand side and behind for a goal kick. He was in behind there, Pascal Gross. Squared the ball looking for Rutter. He would have had a tap in if it had come to the Frenchman. It never arrived. Good defending by Tyrone Mings, actually. And then eventually the ball fell to Costulas in the penalty area. Back to goal, chested it down, and then the bicycle kick well over the crossbar. Here's some changes then for Brighton. They've already made two, of course. And the first of those changes is it Johanna who's coming on? 29 and 15 are up on the board. So Osman is on. Max de Kuiper's afternoon is over. He's been superb. Weaver is the other player that's come off, by the way, the Dutchman. And the other player to come on, indeed, it is Johanna. So it's Zaduk Johanna, 19 years of age, came in from AIK, 28 million euros for the Nigerian. And he gets a run-up and becomes the fourth change for Fabian Hürzeler in what's been a thoroughly satisfying first weekend of the season for the young German manager, the youngest manager, of course, in the top flight. Still Manchester City 0, Bournemouth 1. That one's got about 13 minutes left for play. We've already seen two of the so-called Big Six lose in this opening weekend. Manchester United and Spurs, of course. We've seen Arsenal win. And we haven't yet seen Liverpool, and we haven't yet seen Chelsea. Liverpool to come later today, Chelsea to come tomorrow night. Free kick to Villa, just inside the Brighton half. McGinn takes it. Headed clear towards the edge of the penalty. It might fall for Cash. No, it won't. And Rutter can bring this one clear. Might have a break on here, Brighton, if they play this one right. There's the ball out towards the far side. It's a good one as well. Johanna, first touch for him. Advances towards the edge of the penalty area, clips it through. And in the end, McGinn comes across. He's very strong there, McGinn. Let's say that. On Ibrahim Osman, I think it was. And eventually it's resulted in a free kick that's gone the other way because McGinn is brought down. Good work though from Johanna. Threads it through towards Osman His first touch is quite poor, actually. McGinn comes across. There's a shoulder barge in there. It's a very, very strong, so we say, shoulder barge from the Scotsman to bring down the Ghanaian. And, well, here is McGinn racing back towards the halfway line. VAR, I think, have cleared that, by the way. They were having a look at it momentarily. Peter Banks just holding up play for a second or two. 10 minutes left of the 90. Brighton and Hove Albion 4. Aston Villa 0. Villa down to 10 men, as they have been since the 40th minute when João Gomes, on his debut, was sent off. And McGinn now coming across just to speak with Peter Banks. And the game will recommence. There's the whistle in the mouth of Peter Banks. And recommences with an Aston Villa free kick drilled on by the goalkeeper. Just about kept in play by Emi Buendia. Does well. Ball down the line is a good one as well. Down towards the corner flag is Hemmings. Hemmings goes down in a heap. Brighton get the ball cleared. Ball just about kept in play. Eventually it does go out, but it will be a Villa throw-in. So the Villa throw-in is level with the edge of the Brighton penalty area down the Villa left. Matson wants to take a quick one, but the referee's preventing that. That's because his team want to make another couple of changes. So we're going to see Matteo Ruggieri, who's coming from Atletico Madrid for 28 million. Matson's afternoon is over. He was going to take that throw in as well, but the Dutchman is off. And in his place, Matteo Ruggieri, the Italian. 28 million euros from Atletico Madrid. John McGinn, his afternoon is over as well. Not his most fruitful. And he's going to be replaced by the number 47, Alisson. So his name's Alisson. He is a Brazilian, but it's not that one. He's a forward. And this will be just his fourth cap for Villa, senior cap. 20 years of age. Villa take the throw in. They've gone all the way back towards the halfway line. Here's Victor Lindelof. Sloppy ball out towards his near side. Cut out, put out of play. Throw in for Villa on the halfway line down their right. In the 83rd minute. And the points were done and dusted, weren't they, before half-time here, with Brighton leading by 4-0, and with that sending off of João Gomes. And it's been a bit of a non-event, to be fair, this second 45. It really has. Long throw down the line for Aston Villa, and George Hemmings will give chase, but he's not going to get there. And it's gone behind, and it'll be a goal kick for Brighton and Hove Albion. And just really summed up Villa, I think, that throw-in. This whole match. Here's Diego Gomes. He's inside the centre circle for Brighton. Goes back to Vuskovic. Then the long ball down the right-hand side. It's one to chase, and it's brought down nicely by Costinha over on the far side. He's won himself a throw-in as well, because he's played the ball off of Tyrone Mings. Mings coming on as a second-half substitute. Throw-in then for Brighton, level with the edge of the Villa penalty area down the Brighton right. Really congested over on the far side. Eventually the ball finds Gomes, and Dunk just outside the centre circle as the ball's played back towards the halfway line, out towards the inside left position. Now then, opportunity for Osman to have a run down this left-hand side. Oh, dearie me, he went one way, the ball went the other, lost possession, and Villa can bring it clear with Matty Cash. Cash, 3 blue shirts around him, manages to scoop it out towards near side, loses possession. Sloppy from Cash. Can Brighton take advantage edge of the penalty area? No, they can't. And Villa go long. Nobody there in a Villa shirt, and it'll be tidied up in the end by Luka Vuskovic, who's had a comfortable, it has to be said, debut here for Brighton following that €54 million move from Spurs in the summer. He's not had a lot of defending to do, has he? Let's be honest. Lewis Dunk. Square to the inside right position again, and the aforementioned Vuskovic. And then Costinha goes out towards the far side. Here is Osman. Is he going to get the cross in? No, he's not. He plays it square across the edge of the 18-yard line. Villa can get it clear out towards the far side. Well, they desperately give the ball back to Brighton, the edge of their penalty area. Villa, that's exactly what they've done again. Brighton have it once more. And then in the end, Pascal Gross drills the ball back inside his own half to his goalkeeper, who's well off his line. He's closer to the halfway line at the moment than his goal line is Bart Verbruggen. Good birthday week for him, the Dutchman, 24 this week. And it looks not just a win, but a clean sheet as well. Here's the ball down towards the near side. Cash comes across just before the substitute. Ibrahim Osman can pull the trigger and get the ball into the box. Has gone out of play, though, for a Brighton throw right next to the corner flag down the left-hand side. But before that, they're going to make another change. And Malik Yukulier, the Ivory Coast man, is going to come on, and he's going to replace Diego Gomez for the final 5+ stoppage time. Looks as if Villa are readying a change as well. I think Alejandro Garnacho. Is it Alejandro Garnacho is going to come on? Emi Buendia certainly is going to come off. These are the last of the changes, by the way. Maybe you are listening to unofficial off-tube commentary of Brighton Hove Albion versus Aston Villa here in the English top flight, opening weekend of the season. Here comes Alejandro Garnacho. Well, he's at a real crossroads in his career, isn't he, the Argentinian? He's still only 22. He feels like he's been around for so long. He's been at Manchester United, sold to Chelsea, and he's on loan now here at or in Birmingham at Aston Villa. Started on the bench. He's going to get 5 minutes plus stoppage time to try and do something here. There's the long ball forward for Villa. And the chase is on for Alisson, but he's not going to get there as the goalkeeper comes out. And Brighton have it once more in the 87th minute. Pascal Gross inside the centre circle. It's like he never left Brighton. Certain players are just set up and just comfortable at certain clubs, aren't they? And it just seems to be the perfect marriage, doesn't it? The perfect relationship between Brighton and Pascal Gross. Not that he had a bad time at Dortmund when he did go over to the German league, but it just feels you can't have one without the other, can you? Free kick now for Brighton, left-hand side of the penalty area as Osman is brought down. And another opportunity for them to put this icing on the cake of this polished opening weekend performance here down on the south coast against Aston Villa. Pascal Gross and Oliver Boscagli are the two players who are behind this one. He's actually around about 20 yards from goal. It's actually in line with the left-hand side of the penalty area. And it's either going to be the right foot of Pascal Gross or the left foot of Boscagli. Upsets Pascal Gross, clips it in right-footed towards the far post, and the goalkeeper comes and punches clear and gets a good connection on it as well. Bizot towards the halfway line. That's tidied up for Brighton all the way back to the goalkeeper. Now out towards this near side, touched off, and in the end back to the goalkeeper once more from Johanna. Johanna out to Dunk. And it's Johanna again. Down the line it goes over the halfway line. Here's Pascal Gross just over the halfway line down the left-hand side for Brighton. Plays it back towards the halfway line. And Boscagli, who's had a good game, the Frenchman, 28 now. Back to Lewis Dunk. And it really has been a real training session in this second half for Brighton and Hove Albion, who will prepare for that European qualifier midweek. There's a strong challenge coming in down this near side for Villa. Fair one, says the referee, and Alisson can bring it clear. Then runs into trouble, gives possession straight back to Brighton. There's the ball scooped forward towards the edge of the penalty area, and eventually it goes through to the goalkeeper, who clears first time. Wasn't sure whether he could pick the ball up or not, the Villa goalkeeper, and in the end he just drills it out of play over on the far side. So it's a throw-in for Brighton on the halfway line down there, right-hand side. In the other game, the 2 o'clock kickoff, Manchester City have equalised, and it's the defender, in fact, Mark Guay, the former Palace man, who's got that goal, and one apiece in that one with similar time to this one, really a couple of minutes to go plus stoppage time. Here come Brighton again. Can they get this fifth before the final whistle? The ball goes out towards the far side. Johanna holds it up, thought about getting the cross in, thinks better of it, and then goes down the line in the end. Eventually it's recycled centrally to Vuskovic. Now is he going to pull the trigger? No, he goes square to Dunk. Dunk low ball out towards the left-hand side of the penalty area. Osman. Again, Osman thinking about the cross, thinks better of it. Goes back to Dunk, he goes back out to Osman again, left-hand side of the penalty area, looking to take on Cash. Down towards the byline he goes. There's the cross, left-footed. There's the header, and it's a simple save in the end for the goalkeeper. It was the header, a tame effort in the end from Costinia. Straight into the arms of Mario Bisa, the Aston Villa goalkeeper. Just about to enter stoppage time. All eyes on the fourth official as Villa come forward. Can Villa get themselves a consolation? And they can't. There's an offside flag up, actually, just as it looked as if they were breaking forward there with Alejandro Garnacho looking for a debut goal, the Argentinian. So here comes the fourth official. Brighton 4, Villa 0, and we're going to have an additional 5 minutes to add on at the end of the 90. We're into the first of those now as Brighton go long. Cash clears on the volley out towards this near side, and Brighton are happy to take the throw in as it goes out of play down this near side. So throw in for Boscagli, and Boscagli finds Yaukulier. Spreads play towards the far side. He goes back infield again to Pascal Gross, just outside the centre circle. Gross is going to switch it diagonally from right to left, but it's not going to reach its intended recipient, which with Osman down the left-hand side of the penalty area, and Villa can clear. But Brighton win it back once more, and once more the Seagulls just happy to play it around. Seeing out time here. A very, very comfortable opening weekend of the season for them, and a miserable opening weekend for Unai Emery and Aston Villa. Here's Dunk, left-hand side of the centre circle. Drills one out towards the far side. It's a lovely ball actually by the German out towards the far side to Johanna. Johanna twisting, turning in between a couple of Villa players. He's managed to smuggle it back to Yaukulier. Gross again, Yaukulier again. Minute and a half of stoppage time played. 3.5 to go. Can Brighton find one final memory on a opening weekend fixture and victory that's been full of them, but particularly in that first half with those 4 unanswered goals? Here's Osman left-hand side of the penalty, and he wasn't on the same wavelength in the end as Oliver Boscagli. Played the ball down towards the byline, but he didn't make the run in the end, the Frenchman, and it's gone behind for a goal kick for Aston Villa. We played 2 minutes of stoppage time. Brighton and Hove Albion 4, Aston Villa 0, and it all started off with a fortuitous own goal. It was a horrific error. Actually, it was a horrific error from Victor Lindelof, and in trying to make up for his horrific error, Victor Lindelof, he ended up putting into his own net as the shot from De Kuipers hit the post. It then ricocheted onto the Swede and into the net. That was 1-0, and it was shortly 2-0. Really well worked goal, which was finished off by Max De Kuiper. Then 2 in 2 minutes, Jack Hinchelwood with both of those. One of them a huge helping hand from Villa, playing out from the back and losing possession inside their own penalty area. That made it 4-0. Manchester City have scored again, by the way, so they now have turned that one around against Bournemouth. They lead 2-1, and it's just waiting for the scorer of that one. And it's Vardiol, the Croatian. So Manchester City 2, Bournemouth 1. So it looks like they will get the opening day victory, as certainly will Brighton and Hove Albion here. 4-0. And then there was that sending off as well. João Gomez in the around about the 40th minute. It went to VAR. It wasn't initially captured, the lashing out on Jorginho Rutter. Here come Brighton for one final time. There's the ball into the box, and the header is well over the crossbar in the end from Kostilas, the Greek, and it's behind, and it's a goal kick for Aston Villa. I think that's pretty much going to be that for a very, very comfortable afternoon for Fabian Hürzeler and the Seagulls down here on the south coast, and plenty of food for thought for Aston Villa and Unai Emery, particularly with the impending closure of the transfer window in just over a week's time, of course. 'Still expecting Ollie Watkins and Emi Martinez to both leave Villa Park. 'Still expecting Ollie Watkins and Emi Martinez to both leave Villa Park. 'Still expecting Ollie Watkins and Emi Martinez to both leave Villa Park. 'Still expecting Ollie Watkins and Emi Martinez to both leave Villa Park. 'Still expecting Ollie Watkins and Emi Martinez to both leave Villa Park. 'Still expecting Ollie Watkins and Emi Martinez to both leave Villa Park. 'Still expecting Ollie Watkins and Emi Martinez to both leave Villa Park. 'Still expecting Ollie Watkins and Emi Martinez to both leave Villa Park. 'Still expecting Ollie Watkins and Emi Martinez to both leave Villa Park. 'Still expecting Ollie Watkins and Emi Martinez to both leave Villa Park. 'Still expecting Ollie Watkins and Emi Martinez to both leave V And obviously the likes of Ezra Konza and Morgan Rogers have already left. There'll be a free kick here for Bournemouth. We're inside the last 30 seconds now. Stoppage time. It's a foul by Matty Cash, who thought the decision should have gone the other way. And in fact, he's talked himself into the book there as Matty Cash. And Peter Banks dishes out another yellow. His 5th of the afternoon. 3 of those for Villa. The 3 Villa players to be booked. Matty Cash. Well, Gomez, of course, was shown a straight red. And John McGinn. And for Brighton, Yasin Ayari and Pascal Gross. Brighton with possession. It's Pascal Gross inside the centre circle. Square to Vuskovic. And there goes the final whistle. Delight on the opening weekend of the season for Brighton and Hove Albion. Despair for Unai Emery and Aston Villa. It's finished here on the south coast in the sunshine. Brighton and Hove Albion 4, Aston Villa 0. Thanks very much for listening and do enjoy the rest of your weekend.